Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 369.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about some choices with wealth and how to have wealth, because I really think that wealth is a choice. And I talk about this quite often. I think sometimes maybe people are perplexed because they don't think that's how wealth works. But in fact, it is. I truly believe if you make the right decisions, you will end up wealthy. If you make the wrong decisions, you won't end up wealthy. And the problem is most people are making the wrong decisions. So we're going to talk about one decision in particular that I think a lot of people must be making that is really going to detract from their wealth. And I don't want that to happen to you. So we are going to cover what that one thing is that you don't want to do that could detract from your wealth. Because again, wealth is about making the right choices. It doesn't mean that you have to live frugally and not spend any money and that somehow you'll magically become wealthy. That is the misnomer that a lot of people have, that somehow you have to not spend, you have to be really frugal, you have to really live below your means, and that's really the whole secret to wealth. And I just don't agree with that at all. In fact, you know the 6 steps to wealth, and if you don't, go back please and listen to the beginning of this podcast, the early episodes where I talk about the 6 steps to wealth. And you'll know that, of course, I start with mindset, but then we go into saving a nest egg, finding a mentor, and then investing in a money engine, and then compounding at a high rate, and then protecting your wealth. So it's super important that at some point you start investing. And that's where your money really starts to work for you. And you don't have to work so hard, because if you're just working, that isn't the secret to wealth either. You know, working more hours or working harder, it's not about that. It's about getting your money to work for you and putting your money to work. So today I want to talk about one aspect of putting your money to work. In a recent email to the people on my list, I talked about, the one thing they can do is to take money from their income and put it into investments. And if you do that consistently, you're going to get your money working harder for you. Now, you do have to make the right decisions about the right investments, but most people, that's not their problem. Most people's problem is they don't get the money into any investment, and therefore they're not making that right choice, which, as I say, if you make the right choices, you will build wealth. So if you don't make the choice to invest, you're making it more difficult for you to become wealthy. Because again, it's not about scrimping and being a miser and not spending. That's not how you build wealth. So you really have to eventually get your money into investments that are going to grow and compound and be that 8th wonder of the world that Einstein talked about, that most powerful force in the universe that he called it. And so today, what I want to talk about is a very popular trend that's happening. And that is the trend of buying these delivery boxes or subscription boxes. And companies have recently gone public that send out clothing or food or shaving items or other different things that you can order, and they're on a subscription basis. So that means that you're paying for them every month and they're being sent to you in some kind of a box every month. And these have become all the rage. I recently saw an article where I think they listed about 80 different boxes that there are now. And like I said, many people who are starting companies like that are becoming very wealthy by starting those companies. But trust me, the people that are subscribing to these boxes are not becoming wealthy. In fact, they're doing a lot to probably damage their wealth. And I'm going to give you a good example of that. So first, just looking at some of the costs per month of some of these boxes, one was $20, one was $45, one was $60, a few were $15, one was $14, one was $10, one was $139, one was $60. So they're, all over the board, depending on whether it's, pairs of socks that you're getting or food or something else, some other type of more expensive clothing perhaps. But that monthly payment that some people are making to get a box a month of stuff that they may or may not like or want, that they probably, have come to their house and may not ever return, even if they don't like it. So they're getting a lot of stuff that they may not want or use, but it's there and they're paying for it. And that money could actually be one of those decisions that, had they made a different decision with their money, might have made an impact on their life. So let's look at this box that costs $139 a month. Let's say someone is subscribing to that box, and every month they're getting whatever that comes in that box, and they're paying $139 a month for it. Well, over 1 year, 12 times $139 is $1,668 a year. It's enough to start an investment program for sure. So that $1,668, that $139 a month, might not seem like it really makes a difference or it's any big deal or that it could, be of any serious consequence. But my point is that if you were using that to invest and build wealth, and you could, over the long term, average around a 10% average annual rate of return, and you did that year in and year out for around 30 years, those are not things that are impossible at all. Those are numbers that are realistic and doable because people often invest for 30 years for retirement, or certainly a mortgage is usually a 30-year piece of paper. So 30 years is a fairly common number in our society in terms of thinking about investment perspective. So what would $1,668 grow to at 10% in 30 years? Doesn't seem like it would be much, does it? I mean, it's only $139 a month. Well, actually, it's $350,000. It's $330,919. So could that make a pretty big dent in someone's retirement plan? Could that make a difference for them? Could that be something that would be of importance to them? I absolutely say yes. And that's just at $139 a month. That you may not think is that big of a deal. But that decision of what you're doing with that $139 is what makes the big difference. Because, as I said, if you make the right decisions, you can become wealthy. So what if you were able to save 3 times that amount, or 3 times that $139 per month? Well, that would be $417 per month that you'd be saving. And on an annual basis, that'd be $5,004. And that $5,004 invested every year for 30 years, earning 10%, would just be shy of $1 million, $992,757. So there you go. Something that seems so inconsequential, doesn't seem like a lot. Yeah, maybe $417 a month is a tough one for some people. But for some people, it's really easy. They're just not doing it. But they could. The problem is they haven't made that decision to do it. So getting your money to work harder for you is the whole key to building wealth. So I just wanted to use that example and talk about the decisions that lead to wealth, because it really is a series of making the right decisions, then you're on the path to wealth. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.